Great. Yeah, as it was mentioned, we're going to tag team this presentation. We're going to give you sort of a lightning talk of 3 publications that we're working on. 2 of them are in preparation. One of them is a hair's breadth from being accepted to global change biology. So we're really excited about this. At Powdermill Nature Reserve, we operate the banding station much as it has been for more than 50 years. Hopefully many, if not all of you, are familiar with the program there. We run about 60-some nets during migration. It's a constant effort banding station that operates year-round, so we're banding all year, spring, summer, fall, and winter. We record, though some things have changed over time, certainly. We now enter our data directly into a computer database. We're collecting more information on extent of molt and quantifying whether it be molt cards or the extent of pre-alternate invasive pests, those sorts of molts. Many of the field techniques are exactly the same as Bob Leverman here with bending in 1962. The nets are in the exact same place. We try to maintain the habitat exactly the same. So this is we're trying to have this constant effort so that our data can be used to look at long-term temporal and potentially climate change. So the theme of this meeting is how banding can be used for conservation. Operating a year-round banding station for more than 50 years, we're sort of charged with this idea of how can we utilize this banding data for conservation. We can think of really no better way than looking at climate change. So, under some of the predicted models, climate change is expected to increase temperature by somewhere between 2 and 5 degrees over the next 50 years. We took both this temporal aspect, so how have bird phenologies changed across those 50 years, but also climate change. So we gathered temperature data and precipitation, both locally and regionally, depending on our question, to look at how it's changed these metrics of phenology. And so again, these 3 publications that we're working on are breaking down the seasons. The first one that I'm going to talk about that I've been working on is stopover ecology. So we have 3 metrics looking at how phenology and behavior has changed during migratory stopover. And then Molly's going to be talking about breeding phenology, and then also whether or not when birds are arriving, whether that's synchronizing with their breeding phenology, whether those phenologies are synchronized and changing together, or whether there's a separation between those 2. So for the migratory stopover, there's been a lot of research indicating that birds are coming through earlier in the spring, and I'm restricting my analysis just to the spring for now. I picked our 12 most common species of birds that we get at Powdermill Nature Reserve. 6 of them are warbler species, 3 of them are what I would consider short distance migrants. The other 9 are what I would consider long distance migrants. I'm just pointing that now because I'm going to break it down in some of the analyses following. I'm not going to talk about the statistical analyses. I'm happy to do that after this lecture. We simply don't have time. So migratory stopover, the first metric that I want to look at isn't necessarily the timing, but the actual physiology. And one thing you can do is ask yourself, what condition are these birds arriving at in Powdermill? And so I restricted this to the first 2 hours of the day. We open our nets. Any birds captured within those first 2 hours, I did a size adjusted mass and look at whether or not that was changing both over time and with temperature. We're finding that with increasing temperature, so in the warmest years, these short distance migrants are arriving lighter. 2 out of the 3 short distance migrants are arriving lighter at Powdermill over this 50-some year study. Whereas for long distance migrants, none of them were arriving lighter, and a few of them were arriving a little bit heavier by the time they got to Powdermill. Next up, I was looking at hourly masking. Ricky Dunn, who's here, used this to look at sort of a measure of refueling performance at the various stations that Long Point has. And I wanted to apply this same idea both temporally and with temperature. And the way you do this is you simply look at how heavy does a bird weigh at what time of day it was caught. So birds are hyperphagic during migration. They're trying to fill as quickly as possible. You can actually see them gaining mass throughout the day. And so what I did is I did a regression for every single year to look at how heavy they were, and then looked at that across all the years. And so again, think of this as how quickly they're refilling. And for 3 of the species, the leaf flycatcher, the magnolia warbler, and the dark-eyed junco, they're refilling more quickly as temperature is increasing. Next up, we wanted to look at stopover length, and for this we used market capture analysis using program MARC. And we found that for 8 of the species, 8 of the 12 species, they were staying over longer, or at least there was a greater probability that they would be recaught, which we're inferring as a greater probability, a longer stopover length. And then secondly, for in terms of temperature, 5 of the 12 species were also had a greater probability of staying, but all of these were long-distance migrants exclusively. So pulling this all together, this is sort of the take-home message that we get in terms of the physiology and behavioral response of these migrants at Powdermill. Short-distance migrants, and again, we only have 3 of them in analysis, seem to be arriving leaner, refilling more quickly, and staying over longer. They may be risking early arrival. They may be queuing in on the fact that climate change is happening. In general, if they were to bet on it, it would be a warmer spring. So they risk arriving earlier, and if they have to, they can stay over longer and refill more quickly if the phenology is more advanced. Conversely, long-distance migrants don't seem to be queuing in on this as well. Analyses of the stopover, at least arrival timing, seems to indicate that as well. These guys are hanging out in Central America and South America. They don't have the same climatic cues to realize that it may be a warmer spring. Their departure is tied entirely due to daylight. So by the time they arrive in the Gulf Coast and make their way up to Powdermill Nature Reserve in western Pennsylvania, they're arriving a little bit heavier, perhaps, because the phenology is more advanced. They're able to refill a little bit more quickly. And they may not need to stop over quite as long as those short distance migrants.
Okay, so now I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk to you a little bit about the analysis we've been doing for breeding bird data. So Powdermill is really unique in that not only do we have over 5 decades of spring and fall migration data, but also breeding bird observations. Banded birds have been banded since the 1960s. So we're really taking advantage of that and asking how climate change is impacting reproductive time, so reproductive phenology. And this tends to be less studied than migration. There's still plenty of studies out there, especially looking at nesting records. But here we're looking at observations of capture. So breeding condition in females, both brood patch and egg observations for vividity, as well as when the young of the year are being captured. And we're looking at the 10% capture rate to avoid the outliers for all these metrics. And then we're also looking at how climate change has impacted productivity, which is a common measure of fitness, banding data with the ratio of juveniles to adults. And then in general, asking how response varies according to like history aspects, such as broodedness, number of broods, migration strategy, habitat field. And then finally, I'll just touch on this other manuscript that we're working on, looking at how migration and breeding timing are actually related, and whether or not they're changing at a similar rate, addressing some of our as their breeding rules are overlap, but are not exactly the same. And so I'm just going to jump right into the results. We found that in warmer springs, the captures of young were much earlier in 14 species. And we also found advanced timing of breeding conditions, and we came to females in breeding condition in 7 of the 18 species that were able to and as in terms of breeding season duration and productivity especially, we found mixed effects, so depending on the species. And here we actually looked at spring and summer. For productivity, we looked at spring and summer temperature and precipitation, hypothesizing that the intraseasonal differences could be important. So we did find that with temperature, sometimes there are positive effects on the number of young breeds. So here, going back to that, the juvenile capture yesterday, finding that the breeding season appears to be advancing for most of the species. It's about 10 to 15 days advancement, with a 5-degree Celsius temperature increase. And so these are a good example of it's a mixture across migratory strategies, breeding strategies. We're finding this pattern in American goldfinch, cedar waxwing, thrush, song sparrow, and these are all their different temperature windows based on the breeding windows of each farm. Precipitation timing of breeding appears to be less influenced by spring precipitation, possibly due to high variability. High rainfall typically results in late appearance of juveniles and breeding condition. And this may be somewhat related to temperature. Lower temperatures are usually associated with higher rainfall, but they're actually not very, the correlation is very low for temperature and precipitation in our study area. And then again, in terms of productivity, spring and summer precipitation sometimes positively affected. Productivity index sometimes negatively. Hooded warblers, for example, well, all three of these species are positively impacted by the productivity appears to be positively impacted by precipitation. And then we also looked at temporal effects. So over time, what's happening? We are seeing these earlier advanced breeding. So we're in terms of earlier captures of young, especially in 12 species. And so 6 species actually advance more than 3 days per decade, which is a pretty rapid advancement. In American goldfinch is the one exception, one species that has actually appears to be breeding a little bit later over time, and we know that's tied to we haven't exactly pinpointed the mechanism behind that, but it might be tied to they have a different breeding strategy in relation to their close ties with thistle. Yeah, cedar waxwing and thrush, song sparrows are across these species that I showed the temperature showing similar advancement. And then, so using a subset, the 19 of those species are also migratory. So we expected pretty strong correlations between when the birds are arriving in spring and when they are breeding. But in fact, we only found a positive correlation for species, common yellowfin, and goldfinches not showing that increase. But that might just be because the time interval between when their spring migration and when they actually initiate nesting is pretty protracted. We also looked at this interval between when the birds are arriving and when the young are appearing, hypothesizing that in the spring you're going to have it's going both temperature and precipitation will positively affect this interval. So we found that for 14 of those 19 species, spring temperature did impact the interval, and this could either be due to birds either laying more quickly after arrival or reducing the time from laying to fledging. And we found more support for the former, the birds are laying more quickly after arrival. These figures really illustrate this well, I think. On the bottom, so we have wood thrush, cedar waxwing, song sparrow species that are pretty different in terms of their breeding and migratory strategies. And we find that this is with spring temperature on the x-axis. So with increasing spring temperatures, finding that that 10% arrival day is actually not, it's either slightly advancing or not much at all. Whereas the appearance of breeding condition female, we were looking at that for a subset of the data. And the juvenile appearance data are both advancing with increasing spring temperatures. So this is showing that these birds in warm springs are perhaps initiating breeding earlier, accounting for the advancement in appearance of juveniles. So just a few wrap up tracking temperatures. It's usually the same species. Lake history effects on responses to climate are not particularly interesting, so we're finding that across strategies, in terms of number of routes, migration distance, it doesn't really matter, they're all responding to some of those. And so it's going to address some of the point that, okay, so we're seeing, this is since banning was the banning program was initiated at Powdermill, we're seeing a slight but non-significant increase in temperature and precipitation, and this is at stations within 20 kilometers of Powdermill. And that's due to the high variability. So, I mean, it's projected that we're going to see increases in temperature and precipitation, but it gets really interesting when you break it down by month. So the intra-seasonal variation is quite high. So we actually are seeing, this is over the 5+ decades, we're seeing marked increases in temperature early in the spring compared to later in the spring and summer. And precipitation actually seeing decreases over time in early springs, and then increases later in the summer. So this reason is really important to consider both early and later precipitation and temperature can affect these birds. And so what does this mean? What does this mean in terms of fitness? So productivity effects for minks, as I stated before, some bird species are going to benefit from the warmer temperatures, at least in the short term, and others will not. Same with precipitation, you might see higher nesting success for some and poor for others. What we are seeing is a very high flexibility, which is a positive sign. So they have this high phenotypic plasticity, meaning that on a year-to-year basis, they're able to adjust pretty well their timing in order to track the temperatures in particular. And really just want to this study really underscores the importance of these long-term monitoring projects and why bird banding data, especially over the long term, can really be utilized in a way to understand how climate change and other threats are potentially impacting our bird communities.
Incidentally, this is about movies about 20 years ago. It was more than it was still today, this weekend. And with that, we'll take any questions, if there's time.